What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the SWILL Radio. Yeah, I'm one half of SWILL Radio, Mike here. Dave's on assignment. All right, so what we're going to do, guys, we're going to do a little bit of things different here. All right, so we're going to go over some TV shows, more than likely. We're going to start that segment like that. So if you guys like that, go ahead and drop some likes on that. And leave me some comments. Let me know your feedback as far as if you guys are liking this. But this episode, we'll be talking about 90 Day Fiancé. It airs on TLC on Sundays. All right. Now they have different shows, different types of shows as well. Some of them come on Sunday, some of them come on Monday. But we're gonna focus on season 6 of 90 Day Fiancé. All right. So I've been watching this show for a few years now, since the very first season, and I enjoy it. I didn't realize half of my friends and coworkers, they watch the show as well. We talk about it here and there. But it really is a pretty good show to get into, guys. Now, if you guys don't understand, now the gist of the whole show is they meet somebody online, or however they meet them, whether it's a dating app, it's online, or if it's through a mutual friend. You get somebody from the United States and they meet somebody from a foreign country, whether it's Colombia, somewhere in Europe, anywhere. It could be anywhere. And what happens, they meet up and they have, let's say they propose, or the guy or the female proposes to the guy, or the opposite sex, whatever the case is. And they have 90 days to get married, or it's going to be null and void, basically. Now, what a lot of these couples, they fail to realize is, whenever you get married, you have to kind of I would say you have to live with each other, because once you start start moving in with each other, and you start learning all the different faults and everything like that. All right, so pretty much on this episode, these guys took the cake. Now, this is Jay and Ashley. All right, his real first name is Conroy. He's from Jamaica. She's from the United States. And, throughout the beginning of their whole relationship, they had a rocky start from the get-go. Ashley's friends always told her that Jay, is cheating on her, this and that. He's texting girls. He's on dating websites, all kind of stuff. But Ashley said, you know what? I don't believe that. I'm with him, period. And that's pretty much how it's been the whole time. All right, so for this last week's episode that just came on, she actually went to the barbershop where Jay hangs out, where he has two friends. He has the owner and another friend that at work at the barbershop. And, she was asking what's going on. Now, what happens is also Jay does some tattooing on the side. That's where he used to do in Jamaica. But, over here, of course, he can't work for those 90 days, whatever the case is, until everything gets cleared up. You guys will have to actually probably Google some of that stuff, because I don't really want to go over all that legal stuff. It can't work for at least 90 days at least, until the change of status happens, basically. So Ashley didn't do that part, so Jay can't work legally. Now, under the table, that's another thing. And that's pretty much what I think he's been doing at the barbershop, besides hanging out. All right, so basically he got a girl come to the barbershop, wanting a tattoo. He's filling her up, basically. They go into the bathroom, beat guts, have sex with guys. Don't know what beat guts is. Bumping uglies and stuff like that. And that's pretty much it. The shop owner wasn't happy about it. He found, whatever the case is. But Ashley came in there and said, hey, if you guys know anything, let me know. And they were rubbing their beards and everything. Now, Jay's best friend wasn't saying anything, but the barbershop owner was like, you know what? Yeah, I know something. And he told her the story about the girl went into the bathroom, yada, yada, yada. He said he disrespected my barbershop. I don't like that. And that's pretty much how that episode went down. All right, so then Ashley calls Jay up and says, guess what I heard? Guess what I, seen? And he's like, what? And then she says, hey, blah, blah, blah. I seen a video of you fighting with such and such, which is the barbershop owner. And he was like, what? So he pretty much hangs up the phone. She calls him back, hangs up the phone again, basically. And then he's like, everything that you heard was true. All right, so it doesn't matter. I watched every single episode, before this incident even happened right here. And this is the kind of guy where you would just hope the best things happen for him, but he always digs himself in that hole. And it's like, wait a minute, bro, what are you doing, man? So that's where he's at right now. So it's like, no matter how much you try to like this guy, you have no choice but to hate this guy, because he's a straight DOG, making this law looking bad, man. That's pretty much all that is with them. Now, she was saying that if you come back to the house, I'm gonna call the cops. They're gonna deport you. But it doesn't work that way. But whatever. Of course, this guy's scared. Later in the night, she's packing his bags. I think she's gonna go ahead and throw it outside, whatever. But nah, she's just having some wine with her best friend. They're just talking about stuff. The next thing you know, they hear the car door close, and I guess the horn from the alarm from the car. And here, who comes up? Jay, walking up down, to the door, opens the front door boldly, and walks in. All right, and this is pretty much where it's going to end up at. And they give us like the little previews for the next episode, which this is pretty much it. Like I said, this is the guy you're gonna love to hate, basically. So if you guys are enjoying that, hopefully you guys do. All right, so this next couple didn't have any significance on this episode, but I'm gonna go ahead and go over them just briefly, real quick. We have David, which is 48, and Annie, which is 24. Oh, back to go with Jay and Ashley. Ashley is like 31, and Jay's 20. So yeah, you can't, you're 20 years old, bro. You can't get married. It's too young. But anyway, this is David, 48, Annie, 24. She's from Thailand. He's from the United States. Now, he lived in Thailand for a long time. He was married before. He had, I think, at least 2 kids. Actually, no, he's about 40. Yeah, he's 48, 50 by now. 52 or something like that, 51, whatever the case. He's older. He's double her age, basically. All right, so he brought her back to the States. He didn't really have any money. He didn't have a pot to piss in, basically, guys. He has a best friend who makes bank. So his best friend always foots him the money for everything he needs. And, David always gets really, really comfortable, and he has no problem asking his friend for money. And his friend has no problem saying yes. Now, when it comes to saying yes, his wife actually was like, wait a minute, why are you paying for this guy, this and that, this and that? And that's pretty much all that is for that couple. Now, we're going to go ahead and break everyone down in their own specific episodes and different, whatever the case is on the show. So look forward to all that. But that's pretty much those guys. All right, so our next couple. All right, so we got Russ and Paula here. All right, so she's from Colombia and he's from the United States. He brings her back to the States. She wants to be like pretty much a cover model. She wants to do a lot of modeling, and she does a lot of modeling. Nude, whatever the case is, he doesn't like it. She's pretty mad about that. She's got a banging body, and he just doesn't want her to show anyone else the body. You want to keep the body for the bedroom, basically. That's all that is. But for this episode, she's having her baby. Now, she had a miscarriage before, and she was had her little deal about that. But she has baby on this episode. Russ actually delivered it. I'm actually pretty proud of this dude. He's never had kids before, and he's actually catching his baby. Now, they didn't have the traditional birthing. They did the midwife deal, and she wanted to have a baby in the water, basically. But she's having some different complications as far as the baby's. I guess the face or the head was turned the wrong way, and if it would have came out that way, it would have been kind of detrimental. So they went ahead and did some different maneuvers as far as her laying down, her stretching, and things like that. And it worked out for the better. So they had a baby boy. I think the baby's name was Axel or something like that. Yeah, the baby's name was Axel. And yeah, pretty healthy boy right there. Good for the parents. She pretty much complains how Russ holds the baby all the time. You're not holding the head right and this and that. But they're both first-time parents. You're going to learn together. You can't really mess up unless you just drop the baby or something like that. You're not going to mess up. But yeah, give the guy some slack, basically. That's what I say. All right, so the next one, we have Pedro and Chantel. All right, so Pedro's from the Dominican Republic and Chantel's from the United States. All right, so she's from a real wealthy background family. With this episode, actually, a couple episodes ago, Pedro went back to the DR. He wanted to go without Chantel, and she didn't like that. So she was like, you know what, I'm going to go see what's going on with him. So she actually makes a surprise visit there. He's not happy. He's with his mom and his sister. Of course, the parent, his side of the family does not like her, and her side of the family doesn't really like him. So it's pretty much one of those things where it's not serious. Now, she actually meets up with like a family friend, Obed or something like that. Yeah, Obed. And he tells her the story, what he thinks was going on. Now, pretty much Pedro's mom has like some kind of business where you can actually get some Dominican Republic nationals to meet American nationals and hopefully get married, and you get a green card that way. All right, so it's pretty much like a scam thing. But whatever the next episode comes out, we're going to find out exactly what the deal is with that. All right, so pretty much Chantel's pretty mad at Pedro the whole time because he never sticks up for her when it comes to his family. He's always taking their side, which, you honestly got, if you're married, man, you got to like take your spouse's side a little bit. But he's always saying that he's stuck in the middle, and she said the exact same thing. But Pedro's mother and Chantel got into a verbal altercation. But that's pretty much all there is with that. Let me see. A lot of people are just saying like they should just get divorced. It's not really hooked, not really, they're not gelling, but they're not really gelling together. They don't get along. They're always arguing. He came over to the hotel room basically just to see if she was still there. Now, he should know better. He should know she is still there. She's not going anywhere. All right. The next ones are Lauren and Alexei. Now, honestly, guys, this is the only, I think, true couple in the whole series I've ever seen so far. Well, not the whole series, but this season, basically. You know, I can't say anything bad about these guys. She wants to have kids. He wants to have kids too, but he wants to make sure his stuff is situated, which makes sense. You know, they weren't in this episode. They weren't in the last couple episodes. They weren't in for a while. But he's level-headed. She's level-headed too. But he wants to make sure all of his stuff is his ducks are in a row before he gets, you know, has any kids and all this and that. He wants to make sure his green card's solidified. He wants to make sure that his change of status is solidified, which makes sense. Honestly, I'm behind this guy. But she's like, let's have kids now. Let's do this. And it's like, you can't throw kids in the equation until the pot is boiling first. So you make sure everything is good to go. All right, so last but not least, we have Larissa and Colt. All right, so this is another disaster. Not waiting to happen. It's already happened already. All right, so basically, Larissa gets arrested. They show that when she comes back home, after she got arrested, she was in jail for 2 days. She got bail. I don't know if he paid or somebody paid her bail to get her out. Now, the one thing I don't understand about these shows is that they say they don't have any money. All right, so I know they get paid from the show. I don't know if they get paid after the show is finished, the show gets aired or whatever the case is, but I'm sure they get broken off a little something. So anyway, he comes in there in the room trying to talk to Larissa. She's not really having it. He's trying to touch her. He's like, hey, baby, how are you? Are you okay? I'm just making sure you're okay. And she's just not having it, which I don't blame her, honestly. But she kind of like brings herself into this or drags herself into this kind of thing, situations. He sits on the floor. You know, he comes back later on. He says that he has to go pick up his mom from the airport because he lives with his mom, basically, all of his life. And when she comes living with him, she's like, oh, you live with your mom and this and that and yada, yada, yada. You know, the mom has arguments with her. He has arguments with her. But this is her second time. She went to court, and the charge pretty much got dropped the first time. But now you're getting tried for the exact same thing, domestic violence. All right, so she said that he took the phone or turned the data off and a bunch of stuff that he's trying to control. He didn't want to pay for the phone. All bunch of stuff, guys. Bunch of stuff. But, you know, if you're paying for... She can't necessarily work yet because her change of status hasn't gone through. So you got to kind of like, you're responsible financially, Colt. You have to like take care of who you're taking care of. But I definitely want to hear from you guys. I didn't really want to make these episodes too long. I just want to kind of give you guys a brief up-to-date what's going on with the show. For now on, we're just going to go on whoever's in that episode particularly, and we're going to talk about the episode. Let me hear in the comments down below if you guys are liking this. If you guys are watching 98 Fiancé, how long have you been watching it? Who are your favorite cast members? What's your favorite season? Let me know in the comments down below, and we'll see you next time, guys. Peace.